Welcome to the final King Films Bracketology, and today I'm very excited because the NCAA has leaked the official bracket as of Saturday night on their website. As you can see right here, this is all official. We're scrolling up and down the page. This is live on their website right now. You guys should check it out. Look at this. The whole bracket is there as of Saturday night. So let's dive into it in this final Bracketology video before Sunday's last championship games. So starting in the top left, we've got Gonzaga against Norfolk State / Texas Southern in a battle of the HBCUs to play Gonzaga. And that is a great matchup there, as both of those teams would be hot off their conference tournaments, and so would Gonzaga. 8-9 Missouri-UConn. UConn came up short in the Big East. Missouri came up short in the SEC, so that should be a great matchup there. Number 5, Tennessee against number 12, Georgetown, the Bid Bandit there. That's a great matchup too. Tennessee gave a fight in that SEC tournament, and of course Georgetown, there's not many teams hotter than them right now out of the Big East tournament. Texas Tech against North Texas, a little Texas battle here. I like that. North Texas pulled off an overtime stunner over a good Western Kentucky team, while Texas Tech was bowed out in the first round of their conference championship. Moving on to the bottom of this first quadrant, we've got Florida State against UCLA. Florida State was bounced in the final round of the ACC tournament. UCLA, of course, was bounced in the first round of the Pac-12 by an Oregon State team we'll get to later, a Bid Bandit themselves. Kansas might be dealing with COVID, and then we've got Grand Canyon, who just clinched their bid out of the WAC tonight. Oklahoma against Virginia Tech. Oklahoma may be a bit cold again. Lost to Kansas before Kansas's little COVID scare, so maybe Oklahoma's COVID. We'll see. Virginia Tech also was bounced. Texas, one of the hottest teams up to the 2 line. That's what I'm seeing here on this NCAA website. Wow, that is shocking to say the least against a Morehead State team that worked hard to earn their bid. Baylor against Mount St. Mary's / App State. 2 good teams there. And then Loyola Chicago, St. Bonaventure. Love some non-Power 6 teams going at it in an 8-9 high-profile matchup. Colorado UCSB in a battle of Western teams. UCSB just clinched their bid, and Colorado, of course, ultimately was the last team to fall to Oregon State in their run as a Bid Bandit. West Virginia, Abilene Christian. That's also a great matchup. Abilene Christian blew out Nichols State for their win in the Southland. Wisconsin, Syracuse. Wisconsin played pretty well against Iowa as they ultimately bowed out of the Big Ten tournament, and Syracuse played Virginia very close, so I'm very interested in that potential matchup. Houston, Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington just clinched up their bid, and Houston will have to do so tomorrow. Doing so probably won't put them up to the 2 line, seeing as Texas is pretty solid there. Then we've got 7 Oregon against number 10 Clemson. Clemson was bounced early out of the ACC, and Oregon was also bounced prematurely by Oregon State. How many times can I mention Oregon State before even getting to them? In the bottom left, we've got Illinois against Cleveland State. I'm very interested in that Illinois-Ohio State final of the Big Ten tournament. And also about that Illinois-Ohio State game, I'm not sure that Ohio State could jump up to Illinois, but that is who they'd be going for, as Michigan only has a few losses on the season. Maybe Illinois could jump up to that 3 seed if they win, but it's probably a matter of whether Ohio State could swap with Illinois. That, of course, is up to the committee, and since this seems to be the committee's latest signs, as it got leaked on the website, we'll see what happens. Georgia Tech, Maryland. Georgia Tech, there's not many teams hotter than them out of the ACC right now. They did get a game postponed, so they were rested against a Florida State team that was equally rested. Maryland bounced by Michigan in their conference tournament. Creighton just bounced today against Georgetown, of course, and then Colgate, number 8 in the net rankings, speaks for itself. Also, Colgate still has to win their conference tournament, but for now, this is what the committee has in there, and I don't blame them because they're playing a Loyola Maryland team that is not one of the top teams in the conference, to say the least. Purdue, UNC, Greensboro there. That's a great matchup. Villanova, St. Louis / Utah State. And I think the most interesting thing about this is who these last 4 in teams are. You see here, St. Louis and Utah State in one of those play-in games. So that is a interesting sign here, as both of those teams don't have any more games to play. So they're probably locked into the tournament, assuming Cincinnati doesn't win the American. Oklahoma State against Ohio in the 3-14 matchup. That's a great matchup. Ohio, remember when they played Illinois close down the stretch early in the season, so that is a scary Ohio team to an Oklahoma State team that's equally scary out of the Big 12 right now. San Diego State against Rutgers. That's a great matchup. San Diego State's very hot after beating Utah State for the first time in 3 years in that Mountain West final. And then we've got Alabama against Oral Roberts. Michigan-Hartford highlights that top right regional. And then we've got UNC against Florida. UNC is pretty hot. Florida played Tennessee, it's decently tough, but they ultimately fell for the second time in about a week, so we'll see what happens in that matchup. And then we've got USC against Winthrop, and then Virginia against that 13 Oregon State team. A note here, Oregon State will only be the third Power 6 team in my memory, so that's a little bit before 2008. That will be a 13 seed or below, the other two being the Georgia Dogs, who were a 14 seed out of the SEC, and then the Mississippi State team of 2009, that was a 13 seed. Both of those teams did lose, by the way. But Virginia is probably prime for the taking as they're on that COVID pause. LSU against Louisville/Michigan State, so that's the two other bubble teams in here. So some notable names you don't see Duke, who does have a net ranking of about 50. You don't see Wichita State, who just bowed out of the American tournament. That loss against Cincinnati was a good loss. You don't see Drake, unfortunately, for you Drake fans out there. Arkansas Liberty. Arkansas took a loss to LSU today in the tournament, so they could be playing in that second round there. And then we've got BYU VCU, and then finally to round it out, Ohio State against Iona. Looking at the first four, again, we see all those matchups listed above. You get the 16 seeds logos. Enjoy that, because they are playing in, and this is pretty much the field. The only teams that could swap here, Colgate could swap, and that's about it. Maybe a bubble team if Cincinnati wins. So this is pretty much the final bracket. But wait, for those who did not stick around for the end of the video, this is actually not the NCAA website. I actually edited this page myself. However, before you go spamming hate into the comments, those of you who stayed here for this whole video should post some comments about how real this is, just to prank everyone else that did not watch the video and skipped it, so we can get everyone to watch this video. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more March Madness content, as we will have many predictive brackets going out today and tomorrow, and comment your predictions below.